This is Starry Ari's ASMR. I am Ari, and today in this video I would like to clean these two Xbox One controllers. It has been shamefully too long since we last cleaned them, and you can kind of see this one is the one that we primarily use, and it does have a few little caps on the joysticks just because I will take them off and you will see, but the little rubber parts of the joystick on this one were starting to come apart, and so we do have these rubber caps, and I have a few extra up here that once I am done cleaning this controller I would like to place on these joysticks. So this one is actually quite dusty, if you'll be able to see that. We've got lots of dust. This one usually sits on our entertainment stand and we only ever really grab it if we're, like if my husband and I are playing something co-op, which is pretty rare nowadays. So this one is a little bit more dusty. And to clean everything today, I have these general wipes that are technically for screen and electronics. I use these for our remotes and kind of just everything. It's like a catch-all electronics wipe that I know is going to be safe. And then I do also have this 70% isopropyl alcohol, and I have a little jar of Q-tips that I'm going to dip into the isopropyl alcohol, and that's going to really help me just get into all of the nooks and crevices and just really make sure that I'm cleaning these generally okay. I'm not going to be taking the face plates or the top plastic part off at all, so I'm not doing a super deep clean. I just want to do kind of a general clean of these. So I think first things first, I'm going to start with this controller here, and I'm going to first take out the battery pack just so that I don't accidentally press buttons. Here's our little rechargeable battery pack. I'm just going to set that off to the side, and then I'm going to place the battery pack cover back on the controller. Alright, so that is ready to clean, and then this one, I guess I will also go ahead and do that while we're at it. Oh, this one actually doesn't have a battery pack. I guess I could have felt that by the weight. So our battery pack for this one is actually just in the charger right now. So I'm going to set that one up there for now while we focus on this controller here. So for this controller, I'm first going to grab one of these wipes. And I'm just going to do a general wipe down and kind of press all of the buttons. Try and get in these grooves. You can already see there's a little bit of dust and dirt on the wipe here. So we do like to do this at least every few months, and it has been quite a few months since we last did it, which is why these are showing quite a bit of dirt. But we are quite careful. We don't snack on things while we game. neither my husband nor myself are like eating Cheetos and then grabbing the controller, so generally I feel like they stay pretty clean. It's just mostly, just like as you use it, your hands sweat. So that's gonna get on here and that's gonna collect any dust and just general stuff that I don't necessarily want to be touching all the time. So I'm trying to really get all around the grooves of this, but I think to get really into these corners, there's some dust buildup in there. I think I'm gonna have to take the Q-tips, which is fine. That's kind of what I assumed I would have to do. There's also some marks on the back of this one that I think might be able to come off, maybe with a little bit of the alcohol. Now they're coming off a little bit with a wipe, but I don't actually know what these are. These almost look like ink marks or something, but they're coming off a little bit. I have no idea how that would have gotten on here. There's just one spot that's not wanting to come up though. I'm also not expecting that these are going to end up being, perfect, but I just kind of want to get them back to like an okay, good enough spot. Definitely highly recommend cleaning all of your controllers and TV remotes regularly because you do touch them a lot, right? And they can just harbor a lot of dirt and bacteria, and especially something that is like sitting in your hand for so long. Like you might as well give it a nice clean every now and then. I think we probably don't actually clean our controllers as often as we should, or as often as is recommended. Okay. So I did just kind of a rough clean over the controller. Next, I think I'm going to take these covers off of the joysticks. Oh no, and you will see, actually, since we put the covers on, the rubber was just being held on by the cover. So I'm actually going to take that off, set that off to the side, and I hope that's not a mistake. I hope that the cover will still fit on here just fine. But we shall see. Now with the cover off, I can at least do a bit of a nicer clean of the joystick and really get into the base of it there. And then let me take off this other one. And this one actually is doing fine still. It obviously has a little bit of wear, but it was not falling apart like the other one was. But we wanted the covers on because I think it would have driven me nuts having two different feelings on my thumbs. Like if one of them had the cover and one of them didn't. I think that would be bothersome. Just the same thing, I'm just taking this wipe and kind of getting right at the base of the joystick. It's a little bit of like black dust from the rubber coming off. Alright, I think I'm going to call that good with this wipe. And now I'm going to open up our isopropyl alcohol. And I don't actually have anything to like pour this into, and I don't really want to pour it into the tiny cap. So I think I am just going to dip my Q-tip straight into the bottle. This is just a cleaning one. This isn't like we have a higher percentage for like our actual first aid, so I'm not too worried about this one staying like completely sterile. So I'm okay dipping things into it, but definitely like if you're using your isopropyl alcohol, I mean it's alcohol, right? Like it should be fine, but like it's just something to think about. You don't really want to be getting a bunch of dirt and stuff in your alcohol bottle. So now I'm just going to take this Q-tip and push it right into all of these crevices. And already I feel like that has made a big difference on the D-pad. Now that doesn't have all of that dirt buildup that was right in the corners, and there's actually not really a whole lot that you can see on the Q-tip. But okay, I think I'm going to take this just at the base of the joystick as well, like underneath, and just kind of rotate it. Now I'm going to dip this other side, and I'm going to run this around the buttons and press the buttons down and just get like right around the edges. I love controller sounds. I feel like there's not many ASMR videos that focus on the sounds of controllers. There are some, but I am a huge fan of them. I think that it's quite nostalgic. I came from a gamer family, so we did have consoles growing up. So I think it's like really nostalgic hearing the sounds of the controllers. Oh, this one has quite a bit of dirt and dust on it compared to the other side. I'm going to grab another Q-tip. And I'm just going to try and get underneath the joystick here. Roll along the edges. Also got some dirt on this one. Just gonna dip the other side, and then now I think I'm pretty happy with these buttons. I'm gonna take this to the edges and do all around the bumpers and triggers. Kind of get like in between. Yeah, there's a lot of dirt and grime in between those. Okay. Go over to the right bumper and trigger. Don't really like thinking about all of these little spaces that the dirt can be hanging out in. Okay, those are looking pretty good for me. So now I'm just going to take this Q-tip and just lightly scrub at these spots that might be a little difficult for you to see, but right there, very, very faint dark spots. Okay, so this section is definitely looking a lot better. I know that there's probably dirt like right in these seams, but I just don't want to take the covers off of the controllers today, so I'm not going to get in between those and clean that. No idea what these are. They're almost like little like spray paint splotches, but like, I don't know where they would have come from. Super strange, but you can see like the black on my Q-tip, and it's very confusing. But they are coming off with the alcohol, which is good. I was kind of worried that it was going to be something that just stained them, which I mean would be fine. We're not too picky about the look of our controllers and making sure that they look pristine. I just generally want them to be like okay and like clean for us to handle regularly. But if they get staining, like I'm okay with that. But luckily these ones are just kind of coming up pretty okay. Except for this one spot here is being a little bit stubborn. I think I'm going to call that alright. It's still there a little bit, but overall that looks a lot better. And I want to do this side over here. It's just weird how much of that stuff there is on here. For a second I thought we had a little dent or something in our controller, but we have one exactly on the same spot on the other side. And I mean, I guess it could be some wear, but I don't think so. I think that probably is meant to be on there. Especially just it's like exactly on the other side. It's so faint, I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick it up. Okay. to get these marks pretty much good, I think I might take one more wipe to it and then call this controller good. Like I said, I'm not getting these perfect. I just want to clean them up a little bit. Make them a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner. And overall, I think that it helps the longevity of the controller doing this regularly. I at least assume cleaning, like doing light cleaning, can't hurt. Okay, these spots are being a little bit more stubborn. I don't really want to come up as much, which is alright. I've at least gotten some of it up. It's not as dark as it was, and like from far away, it's kind of hard to even see that there was anything here. But up close, you can still kind of see, I think, some of these spots. Alright, I'm going to take, I think, one more Q-tip. Wasting quite a lot of Q-tips, but that's alright. And I'm just going to run right along the outside of these seams in the plastic coverings where they meet. Okay. There we go. Let me take one more wipe to it. Just do this other side here. Alright. Like I said, I'm not going for perfection, but this is definitely a lot cleaner than it was at the start. So I am going to call it at that and be pretty happy about it. And before I put the caps on, I'm going to just let that kind of dry a little bit. And I'm actually going to take a wipe to the caps as well. And just kind of clean around the edges. the insides just to try and make sure that these are nice and clean. That one is good. Okay, I think that one is looking pretty good too. So now I'm going to put these covers on. Didn't quite go on all the way. Okay. So the covers are now on the controllers or the joysticks. So that will be nice and clean for the next time that we play anything. Here is the second controller, like I was saying earlier. So this is the one that just kind of sits on our entertainment stand really until we need it for co-op or something. So it is actually quite dusty just from sitting there and doing absolutely nothing. Also some dog fur in this back joint that I will try and get out. So first things first, I'm going to grab a wipe. And again, I'm just going to take this and just do a quick kind of brief clean over everything with this wipe. And then we'll go in with the Q-tips again and really get into all of these really dirty, dusty nooks and crannies. I think that front is looking okay. Let's take a look at the back. This one also has a few spots there. But honestly, this one doesn't have nearly as many of those little, like, ink spots or whatever they were as the first one did. So I think that this one will probably be quite a bit faster to clean, which is nice. Alright, I think that that is good for kind of a first once over with the electronic wipe. Let's grab our first Q-tip. And I'm going to go in with the most satisfying for me part, and that is the D-pad. I don't know why this is kind of reminding me of that scene from Toy Story. If any of you know what I'm talking about, where the older gentleman is cleaning up Woody and like restoring him, and he takes like Q-tips and he like polishes his eyes and everything. It's like classic ASMR in a movie, right? Alright, so that is looking a lot better in the edges there. Just gonna do a quick kind of over here, just press buttons. Alright, that looks pretty good. I think the joysticks tend to get pretty dusty too because they like have the little like ends that go inside but they rotate around, so I think the dust can just like really easily get trapped in there. Okay, grab another Q-tip. I'm going to do this joystick over here. I'm wondering if that controller with this joystick, if it's going to sit fine, like the cover, if it's going to sit fine while we're playing, or if it's going to be annoying and like rotate because it doesn't have the rubber underneath it. I mean, the rubber was clearly just falling apart anyways, so probably needed to remove it. Just, I mean, I imagine like if little bits of rubber were like falling off and getting into the controller, like that might mess something up, right? Like it kind of seems like it would. So we do just have the Xbox One. That's the only console. Well, actually, that's not true. We have a Nintendo Switch. But our main console that we use and play is the Xbox One. And we've been thinking about getting the new console, but we kind of we were really busy, and so neither of us were really playing as much, and we figured like didn't really want to spend the money for a console that we weren't going to use. And then now we're thinking like maybe we'll just wait until like maybe it'll be a little bit cheaper. Like we're doing okay with our Xbox One. We have plenty of games to play, so there are some games that we would really love to play that are out on the new console, but some of them we're able to play with Game Pass on cloud gaming. So far it hasn't been too bad. It's kind of annoying that we can't always just download the game though onto our console. And I on. So my husband right now just started Assassin's Creed Shadows, and we love the Assassin's Creed series. I'm actually doing a full playthrough over the last few years. I've been doing a full playthrough of all of the games in order, and I kind of have taken a break a little bit, but he has kind of skipped around. He's not somebody that necessarily needs to do things in order like that, so he's been happy to skip around to the games that seem interesting to him. And so he just started Shadows and has really been enjoying it, and from what I've seen of it, it seems really fun. It's always exciting when a new Assassin's Creed game comes out. I also think the new Borderlands might only be on the new console. I don't think it's going to come out for the Xbox One. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure. And unless it comes out on Game Pass for cloud gaming, like that's one of those, we have all of the Borderlands games because I just love that series. It's one of my favorite series to play. And actually I haven't played it in quite a bit, but even the third one that had a lot of criticisms, I still enjoyed playing it. Even if the story was a little bit lacking in some ways, it was still fun for me to play. I always play as Siren, so seeing that there is a new Siren in the new game, I'm very excited to mess around with her powers, see what that does for the combat, and I think that'll be really fun. But that's one of those games where, like, I have gotten all of the Borderlands games, and that's, you know, I would like to buy that one for our collection as well, but if it's only available on the new console, it's kind of a waste for me to get it until we have the new console. But we think probably in the next year we'll upgrade, but we just haven't really seen much of a need recently. That's quite funny. So my husband, his job, he works during the school year, and then he gets summers off. And so during the summer, he's still quite busy. He's doing research and all this other stuff, but he has a little bit more time to himself, and so he's been playing games a little bit more than he is able to during the year. And so now he's been like, oh, it'd be really nice to have the new console. But it's like we were just talking the other day, like he's only gonna have like a couple more months to play games, and then he's gonna have to go back to being super busy and not being able to play as much. So I think we're gonna hold out. This one doesn't have nearly as much on the back as the other one did, so this one is definitely already looking a lot better. I'm just sitting here thinking about whether any of it is going to show up in video or if it's going to look like I'm just scrubbing at an already somewhat clean controller. So we will see about that. Okay. I think that I want to try and tackle these ones, and then this controller might be good. I'll do one more Q-tip like down the edges like I did for the other one, and then I'll do one wipe to kind of clean everything up one last time. And the spots that were right here are actually coming off really nicely, so that's good. That already just looks so much better. It doesn't look new, but it looks better. have that one be the one that sits on our entertainment stand for a while, and we'll use this one. That way they're kind of getting like equal amounts of use. Okay. I'm going to take Q-tip just to these edges. Let me do this side now. Okay. I think that is looking definitely quite a bit less dusty than it was when we started, which was the goal. So I'm going to take a wipe and I'm going to do one last kind of once over of everything. Make sure that I get these joysticks and press all of the buttons down. Okay, I think that is looking pretty good now. So I think next I'm going to pick out some of the joystick covers to put on this one. Just because it would be nice. I don't know if these covers actually will help like protect them from falling apart like the other one did. The other one was already falling apart, and that's why we ended up getting these little covers. So we have blue. We have this nice like dark purple. We have red. And we have green. Now I'm actually kind of thinking about it. Maybe I will try that. Because that also kind of helps us like differentiate which controller is which. So maybe I will do the white covers. I think overall I prefer the look of these like black and white ones, but I think these white and black ones are okay too. These ones were just really cheap ones that I got off of Amazon. So let me put these on here. One is on there. Let's do this one. If these covers actually don't protect anything and potentially ruin the joysticks, please let me know. Because I don't necessarily want to ruin the joystick tops, but I feel like these would help like protect them. I think that both of those are on nicely now. doesn't look as nice as just the black joysticks, but I think that it's alright. These are definitely my favorite covers. Maybe in the future I'll look at getting just a pack like this. Just making sure that one is on there nicely. That one is kind of really loose. So maybe I'll look something up about that. Like I wonder if I can put like anything under there to kind of cushion it a little bit more, but honestly moving it around it feels fine. But I wonder after like a decent amount of use if that would become an issue. I'm not sure. Alright. Well, let me put the battery pack back in the controller we're going to be using. Well, now we have these two nice and clean Xbox One controllers. I hope that you enjoyed watching me do just kind of a clean, like a quick clean on the outsides. Maybe enjoyed hearing some of the controller sounds. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day.